Here we go. So Christine and I are here live on Amazon. I'm D. Scott Smith. We are going to have fun talking about thriving in your empty nest. This is a comprehensive guide. Hey, it is an opportunity. When the children move out, you've got your opportunity to learn, to expand, to grow, and to thrive. And that's what we're all about. We are here to help you with tips, tricks, books, products, things that you need to know to be successful as you move into and thrive in your empty nest. Welcome to our Amazon Live show. You know, I suppose I could redo that little video because at my wife's advice, which I took because I'm smart, I went from the comprehensive to the ultimate guide. Ultimate is actually better. You think?
Oh, yes, definitely, because I thought of it. So no question at all. I know we're about to introduce products. I know there's already products down in the carousel. We wouldn't come on here with an empty carousel, but there's a second reason why you could film.
Sure.
Film isn't the right thing. Re-video.
I just did.
Yeah. There's another reason is that we are the empty nest, but your nest is not as empty anymore because we actually got up the courage to hang things on the wall.
Check out what Lee has to say. Lee Newton Road says, empty? Not for long. Here come the grandchildren.
That's right.
Well,
I thought he meant he was buying stuff on Amazon.
My daughter got married. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary.
Yes,
in September,
we were just looking at pictures yesterday.
Yep. It's been a year. It's time to get some prints of the wedding.
That's
pictures.
Right. We literally have empty frames on the wall because we just haven't gotten around to looking through. You know, you wanted 1,001 photos taken, and then she wanted me to watch the video with her. I'm like, I got to get back home after we went through all the photos. Yay!
Well, I tell you, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been online, and we changed from Monday to Tuesday.
Or Monday to Tuesday. And I'm really glad. I'm really glad because at the end of this month, the 29th, is Giving Tuesday. And that was my initiation. That was my maiden voyage into live and being a co-host with you. A year ago was on a Giving Tuesday, and we did a 2-hour show, totally worth it because we were putting forth what we've got in our Amazon Smile as our default.
Hmm.
to make sure when we make our purchases that it's counting for more. It costs us nothing. Zero. We just had to take the time. You had to take the time to register for Amazon Smile.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and in fact, while you mentioned that, I was just thinking,
mhm.
because we're coming up to Thanksgiving. I mean, it's November, and we've got a ton of products in the carousel,
Yes,
from some free stuff like Zoom, right?
that's
Something that
true.
we use. I mean, it's one of the things that we use, and a lot of people still need to download it. Maybe they got a new computer. Um, it's right here.
Oh,
It's free on
sure.
it's on Amazon. You don't have to go
Wow.
anywhere else. You can find it right here. Um,
That's
and
awfully
so
nice of Amazon.
yeah, we have got some crazy stuff. So we've got that. We've got some travel stuff, some tech stuff. We
Mhm,
just came
mhm.
back from a conference, and that's going to be a fun story to talk about. And some
Yes.
of the things that we had with us that we would recommend that people uh, take along with
Yes.
them.
Yes, be
But
prepared.
I've got the video right here that I'm going to show people because it is, let's see, where is it here?
Did you just
Bu- bu-
decide
bu-
that
bu-
just now that you're gonna do this?
yeah, because you
Okay,
mentioned that. Here we go. It's the Amazon Smile. So this
good,
is
the
it's just a
how-to.
1 minute, video, but it shows people how you can use the Amazon Smile program. And just briefly to let people know, what is the Amazon Smile program? You can donate based on your
Yes.
purchases here on Amazon.
Mhm.
It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost the vendors anything. Amazon just says, okay, you bought stuff. We'll send a portion of that to the charity of your choice. So here's how you do it for specifically for ALZ authors. ALZ is what I say, but it's ALZ authors. So let's watch that one.
Yes.
You can support your favorite charities by using the Amazon Smile program. Go to smile.amazon.com, choose the button here on the upper left to select your favorite charity. Scroll down, put in the name of the charity, like ALZ Authors, and search. Once you've found the group, you can read about them. So here we have ALZ Authors, and it's a community of authors sharing Alzheimer's and dementia stories. Once you've found the charity, go ahead and click the Select button. And now your purchases will all go toward supporting your favorite charity using the Amazon Smile program. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It's very, very simple to be able to just click and choose a charity, and you can change, and then you can take a look and see how much you've donated and how much they've collected from other folks. So it's a great thing to remind people about.
So much value to that organization. They're nonprofit, they're already giving, and here you are sending, maybe it's so minute. You're thinking, I don't know, they're going to get 3 or 4 bucks out of this. They're being encouraged to continue on because it's not an organization, it's individuals who have a passion to get something good done for somebody else, not benefiting themselves. So here you are taking a few moments, and you'll wonder later, why did I not do this earlier? You can stick with the same one for a decade, or you can change. I don't know how often you can change, but there's like a million of them to choose from. So maybe
There are a
something that
bunch.
it's like, I know this is really going to make a difference for something that I really care about.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so I encourage people smile.amazon.com and just watch the little video about how to select your favorite charity. And if your charity is not on there, let them know about it. Maybe they don't know that they can get this. And a lot of
True.
charities have huge supporters. They can send out an email and say, hey, you're doing your shopping. We know you're going to be doing it on Amazon. So why not let that charity benefit from it. So
Right.
it's a good thing. So we were just at a conference, and one of the things that happens when you travel is you stay in a hotel, and
Mhm.
there's an alarm clock there that you hope someone didn't need to leave for the airport at like 3 in the morning and set the alarm. So you unplug it, or you try to figure out you try to figure it out.
You hope you turned it off.
Yeah, because we were there for you to go to a conference, and it was
Yes.
gonna the check-in registration was at 7 a.m. You're in a new place, new room. You know, what if you oversleep? You don't want to do
Right.
that. So what do you do?
Well, rather than relying on a clock that is plugged into the wall, we will talk about that later.
Hmm.
We can rely on this. You can set the time on your phone, and that alarm can go off. But what if you both need to get up at different times for different things going on? And you're again disoriented. It's not your usual spot. You're reaching out for what's going on. Maybe you don't want your phone right next to you because it keeps vibrating or whatever. So simple, analog, not digital. Turn the knob, things like that. Oh, and I like this too. You can turn the light on to see what time it is and then off. So because there's already enough glowing things in that room with the microwave and other things plugged into other things.
Yeah, you were not kidding. It's hard to get a room dark.
Yes. It seems
Yeah.
like they've got stuff all over the ceiling in case of this, in case of that, and everything's got to have a
Oh,
light on it.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
I just encourage people, if you're traveling, this is inexpensive. Get yourself a travel alarm clock, little battery powered clock. And in fact,
It's
it's one
really
of the things
lightweight.
that lightweight was a double A battery. It's going to last for a long time.
One battery.
One battery. And this is one of the things a lot of people have been using their cell phones as their alarm clock, which encourages them to check their phone before they go to bed, which all the experts, all the studies say, don't
Right.
be bombarding your eyeballs with the blue light
Mhm.
from your phone. And even if you use the blue light filter on your phone or you've got glasses, you're still, all the experts, just leave the
Yeah.
phone in another room. Put your
Let's be
charger
truthful.
there.
Let's
Yeah.
be truthful. Once you have awakened in the night because you're excited about your presentation or you're
Mhm.
wondering if you hung up those wrinkly things that you really wanted to wear out of your suitcase, et cetera, you got things going on in your mind and you want to check the time. If it's your phone,
Mhm.
you're going to see notifications. And then that's going to stay in your brain. And you're going to be thinking, well, maybe
Mhm.
I should just answer that. Well, maybe I should just check on. Maybe, that's not good for you. It's like, that's what time it is. That means I get to fall back asleep for a while.
That's exactly right. And then what happened? We're at the hotel. We're up at the mountain in Mount Hood, Welch's, Oregon.
Yep.
It was a rainy night.
Yes. And the same thing is happening right now. So we'll just cut to the chase and say, the power that had been flickering a few times, and there had been winter storm warnings, and we are way up the pike
Mhm.
from civilization. You drive to get to civilization a long time, and the power goes out
Completely.
approximately 1:30 in the morning
Mhm.
and never comes on again. So that plugged into the wall, even if it had gone out and then come back on later, you're relying on that? No. You go over to your phone, "Oh, no, blah, blah, blah," So this just keeps on going. Yeah, but I was just wondering, did you happen to put in the carousel anything that lights up a
Mm.
very dark out in the forest room?
Well, I'll tell you, when it's dark in the
Dark,
forest
dark.
and it's overcast and you're under the trees, you may as well have your eyes closed.
Yeah,
You do not
very good.
see anything.
I got mad at
But
you
yeah,
because
because
you
I
walked
I was
away
taking
from
stuff out
me,
to the car, and I had the little light,
which was good.
and, it was
And I
good
had full
'cause
arms.
yep, 'cause guess what happens? The power went out, and everyone's phone that was charged into the wall to charge overnight was not charging from about 2 o'clock in the morning, so for 5 hours, their phones were not working. They're not being charged.
Right.
Uh, and so fortunately, we have this, and it's in the carousel. This is the Nebo Torchy. This is the 2K flashlight. It actually charges through a little USB cord right here. So you got a USB cord. So you plug that in, and then it's magnetic, and it just sticks right to the bottom, which means that this base is also magnetic. So I can stick it onto the metal stuff. So it,
Anywhere convenient.
yeah. And so what happened is we woke up. It's very, very dark, and I could turn this light on and then just set it upright, and it was shining off the ceiling, and it was plenty of light to work with. I
You
mean, it
didn't
was
have it
pretty
turned
good.
all the way up, right?
No, I didn't. I actually
Not
had it on the
them.
lowest setting.
Yeah, it wasn't on
So
Mega Blast, but yeah, it just
yeah.
shone on the ceiling,
So this was
and it
the
was
the
like, I can
lowest
see
setting.
everything. Yeah, but
Now it
you
does have a
needed it again.
2000 lumen setting, which
Mhm,
is extremely bright, and then you can lower it down and lower it and turn it off.
mhm.
But it's got 3 different settings, and then the 4th one is that super setting, which you
Mhm.
probably don't need for a long time. It also has one that is really good for signaling.
Yes. So that's what I want to say about you might not need it for a long time. However, the reason why the power went out is that trees went down, transformers were hit,
Mhm,
people saw a big flash and heard the boom that happened to still be awake because they were trying to work on their presentations or they just couldn't sleep very well.
mhm,
So if we had to leave and, again, stormy, dark, even in the light of day, if we had come upon one of those downed trees, which some of the people trying to get to the conference did, then you've got something, you're like, "Oh my goodness, I don't have a flare in this car." I've got some
mhm,
little flashers, but it is mountain roads. You've got something really bright that someone's
mhm.
thinking, "Who's got a high beam on?" And it's moving around. It's like, "I gotta slow down for this," and you are safer.
Yeah, so I recommend, it's got a little clip, it's got the magnetic base, it's got a strap for your wrist. Uh, this is actually great. I take it out walking the dog in the mornings or at night because now it's
Mhm.
dark at night now that we changed the clocks. It's getting dark too early.
Yep.
And
Lots of darkness.
lots of darkness. This little flashlight, it's a good size, fits in your pocket, fits in your coat, fits in your bag, purse, whatever. You can put it with the dog leash. Anyway, when you're traveling, who would have thought that we would have needed a flashlight? But that's not the only thing that we had. And here's a crazy little thing. And let me just highlight this in the carousel, and I'm going to pull it up here on the screen as well so people can see that. But it's a battery, right? So this is the Halo Bolt. Halo Bolt. There it is. The Halo Bolt. Get off the lights. AC/DC. So this one has USB chargers. So you just push the button, turn it on, and then these little lights over here. I'll tell you. You can kind of see how charged up it is, right? So you can plug in your USB. This part, get the thing going right. This actually is a little panel that opens up because you connect to here these jumper
Oh,
cables.
ho, ho, ho.
Yep.
Do the jumper cables
And
come with that, or do you buy it separately? Because that's
no,
important.
this all comes together when you buy it. So it's got the jumper cables, and it actually has So you can plug it into the wall. It's got a cord to plug it into the wall to charge it up. Here's the cool thing. You can use your car to charge the Halo Bolt battery. And then when you leave your lights on, you can plug it in and start your car with the battery that you charged using your car.
It's very recycling. Somebody's got to champion that you're just keeping it going. Can I please say that somebody in the chat column, some random person named Russ Hedge, is saying, hey, you should join Scott with his friend tomorrow. You got to appreciate Russ. Good job, Russ. He has taught me so much about getting my information out there. And thank you, Russ, because I met in person with someone today, and a lot of your training came in handy. So we appreciate you, and thank you for tuning in today. I don't know what you're shopping for on Amazon, but
I think it's
you've got
Bolt.
It's got to be, because guess what? Oh my goodness, this is probably happening in his city too, because we're all on the 45th parallel here. Everybody in southern Texas, you don't even know what we mean about by dark.
I don't know. They just went through hurricane season, and there's another one going through Florida right now.
They need it too. They need it too. But guess what we have on our roads now? I don't think you know this. We've got the antifreeze on our main strip, and I'm going, okay. And the wind has been whistling outside of this window when it's been all nice and quiet. And I'm going, we're in for another something.
Oh yeah.
that was not the only one.
The Halo Bolt. And we said USB, you can jumpstart your car. You can also plug in things in here like other chargers. You can plug in your computer. You can plug in different things in there into that 110 as well. The thing that we really used was the light, right? We used the light. So same thing. We set it up. And in fact, we went to the lobby and set this up, and they had like a wire Christmas tree because they got their Christmas decorations up. I put over the top of it, lit it up. People loved it. It was on the little coffee table by the non-firing fireplace.
They clapped. Everybody in the cold lobby checking out on paper with ink pens.
Now, I mentioned that the power went out at about 2 a.m. and people their phones were charging through their little wall blocks, right? And it stopped. So from 2 o'clock in the morning until later on, their phones were now discharging. They weren't being charged because the power was out. Now,
and everyone was using them for everything.
My habit is actually to take the Bolt and to plug it in and be charging it. And then I take and charge, I plug in my phone into the USB port here and my iPad. And so I'm actually charging it, because as soon as you plug this in, the little light comes on and it starts charging as soon as it's plugged in. So it'll charge the USB. So my phone was being charged while the power was on, and then when the power went out, it was still charging. And so when I woke up, my phone was at 100% charge, because it takes very little. This thing will charge your phone many, many times. You could probably go on the full vacation and not ever charge this up to keep your phone charged. So
always helpful in airports too, looking for the spot.
I have to worry about looking for that in the airport, in the hotel, wherever we go. I have power in the car. I've got power, and so that's a big travel tip for today.
We were completely prepared to do our part throughout the conference. So the evening before, we totally were able to do what we came for. And that was recording and video recording. And we could have completely done everything with the light of day, shining on people's faces. We could have positioned so that the light from outside would have illuminated them. And we could have done all of everything that we needed to do, thanks to that little Halo battery.
It's crazy. And in fact, you were mentioning the recording. I'm going to put that camera up right now because the camera that we use, and it's highlighted in the carousel, is the Zoom Q8N 4K camera, and it's this one right here. And we got more comments, so let me just take a look. All
Good.
right, so there we go. See, Russ says, "What an amazing couple! You're such a blessing." Thank you, Russ.
Yay. I'm
And we do
really
have cool stuff.
glad. I'm really glad that you, Scott, that you said, let's do this together because
Mm-hmm.
empty
Oh, much more
nest
fun. Yeah.
is something that some people really fear,
Mm-hmm.
whether male or female, whether extrovert or introvert, or just pick your personality type. It's like, oh boy,
Mm-hmm.
what we're not used to doing these things together. It seemed like we were always tandem, but not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily doing it side by side. And you said, let's give this a try. We did a whole year ago. We did it for our Amazon Smile people. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
All's
Yep. We did
authors.
it
And that
for
means
on
that's
Giving Tuesday.
Alzheimer's authors who write memoirs, they write
Mm-hmm.
graphic novels, they write all sorts of things
Oh, just
about their
fabulous stuff.
Alzheimer journey with a loved one.
Yep.
And so it's out, we want to support that because it's just been a handful of women who came together and said maybe people should know these things are out there and they want to. So anyway, I'm sorry, I digressed
In
on
the
some other Amazon
carousel,
things.
I've highlighted the Zoom, but I also have this little handle, which we'll use a couple of times here as we go through this, just for ease.
Yes.
And I recommend it. So this is actually a video camera. It's made by the Zoom company. Zoom is really known for its
Wow.
audio. So you can see we got these external XLR ports. So for those of you who use cables like me, we plugged in two handheld mics and we did some video recording. Now it does have a built-in stereo capsule right here. And so we flip that up and then it's got the screen back here and all the controls and more controls here. So you turn it on and you've got some controls like you can choose which microphones you're going to use, and then you can control the zoom and some different features here. But this produces really good quality video.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds really good because Zoom is really known for its sound. That's really what they are. It's a sound company. And so if you're a big videographer, this is probably not the camera for you. But if you're like us, you just want to capture the image, but you're really
Yes.
considering good quality sound, then this is completely portable. And it actually has a little USB-C port here. This is how you charge it. And guess how I charged it? I used that Halo battery. I used the Halo battery to charge this, to keep it charged while we were filming, because you filmed during that Friday evening happy hour. You
Yes.
filmed 8 different interviews. You had 8 interviews.
And some of them were pretty short, maybe under 5 minutes. And
Mhm.
some of them, I didn't make it go. I usually am the one who makes it go too long. I'm just standing there while they are so passionate about what they're talking about.
Mhm.
And we were able to capture that. So what I'm grateful for is that you could have just held that and gotten a few minutes with each person. We could have moved around the room. It was rather crowded. So we
Mhm.
could have, and we would have captured moments. But because people will be done with whatever the image is, if they can't really hear it, they'll just
Oh,
be done with
absolutely.
it. This is so important, whether you have difficulty hearing, whether it's going to be closed captioned,
Mhm.
etc. You gave us the option, and that device gives us the option to hold individual microphones and really, everyone speaks differently. They
Mhm.
they different, you know, pronouncing, loudness, whatever. So
Yep.
it was great. The video is good enough so that you
Mhm.
know who that was. You can see what's happening in the background. It's not major motion picture quality. Of course it isn't. That's a whole nother price point.
That's a
And we
different
would have
thing.
had to set
Yeah.
up differently, and everyone would have been too nervous. They would have gone, no, I don't want to be in the movie. But instead it was unintimidating because it was just a
Mhm.
little tiny thing.
Little tiny box. And so the Zoom Q8 for a Q8N 4K because that's it'll capture 4K video. So
Wow.
the other thing that we have is we have this little Zoom recorder, and this is one that you used when we were doing some work with the radio station.
It looks like you're taking a shaver out of a kit.
Yes,
That's what
isn't
it looks like, but it's not a
I'm gonna
shaver,
turn
I
it on.
promise you. I used
Turn
that
it on.
for hundreds of hours. I was a
Mhm.
volunteer for a local radio station. So I would go to children and any age of anybody else and ask them to tell a story on a particular topic. And they would look at it and they go, "Is this for the radio?" And I'm going, "Oh, no, it's just
Mhm.
recording. It's got a little SD card." Am I saying the right thing?
Yep, has an SD card in the
Yep.
bottom. Again, this uses a pair of I think it's just a pair of AA batteries, and so this up here, the microphone head. There's actually a number of different microphones up here, and
Yes.
so you can choose uh, what you want. So you can choose so it goes from one side, from both sides. You can
Right.
choose stereo, or actually you can choose quadraphonic. And
Yes.
this sounds amazing. So we've actually taken this to some different events where there is music, and I'm sitting in the audience, and we turn this on. And I put that little handle on here. I'll highlight that in the carousel, just because it's easier to hold and kind of manipulate. And then I'm not going to get finger noise because I'm trying to hold this thing.
Mhm.
But you just start recording by just pushing the button right here. There is headphones out. You can actually put an external microphone
Mhm.
into it. This is dead simple to use, but it
Mhm.
sounds amazing. And in fact, this is broadcast quality right here in this, because this is what Christine used for the radio station. This very machine.
So do you
This
have it
little
on a
Zoom.
tripod right now?
I don't. I just have it on the little handle.
Okay, so you had it on there. So it can sit just on a table and you can
Mhm.
choose to both be speaking toward it. You can choose to have the ambient noise around you because maybe there's a babbling brook, maybe there's a bunch of babbling people, and you want that to be part of the excitement of the sound. So it doesn't take any video at all. So that makes your guest kind of relax. Okay, great. And it's like, "Can you edit that part out?" It's like, "Absolutely." And I would bring it back to you and you'd take out the SD card and you would take care of it with all that stuff that you do, honey. Thank you. Did I
It's
give you enough
great.
time to go to the
I
next
just
part of the
love.
carousel?
I was just thinking, so what is the next thing? Oh, here's what I wanted to share next,
Good.
and I'm just gonna put this one up because it's gonna come up here, and let's get this up on
So
the
meanwhile,
screen.
it's just me. I've got my little glowy
Just you. Da,
gourd
da, da,
over
da, da,
there.
da,
And I've
da, da,
got
da, 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 da.
Oh,
All
I
right.
know why that's in the carousel.
Now this is the Bose SoundLeak speaker. We actually, my son kept using this, and so for his birthday, we just bought him one, and it comes in silver. So we got this exact speaker, but in silver for him, and so
So you can hear it in the
that's
shower, right?
yeah,
It amplifies
there
things
it
for the
is.
shower. Yeah, because he
And so we get that.
long
So it's there.
showers.
It is. It's in the shower. Um, it also, and I'm going to put it. It's got a mount. Same thing. Got a mount for the tripod. So I'm
Yeah.
just using the handheld here just for ease, so you can all see it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the Bose SoundLink, so you can see it's got a USB charger here in the back. It's actually got an aux in, so you can put the cord to that. So if you have a device that's not Bluetooth, because this connects by Bluetooth. So if you have a
Yes.
device that's not Bluetooth, then you can just use the
Aux
cord
cord.
in there, the aux cord, yeah. Bluetooth, but this speaker sounds great. And Bose is really known for being able to take and make really good bass sounds come out of small
Mhm.
spaces. And so here with the Sound Link, uh, it fits in there. So you can put it on a tripod. So if you go to an event, you can have nice sound. You don't have to worry about
Mhm.
a table because you can use it on the tripod.
Mhm.
It's also got a microphone built into it. So
I did not know that.
one of the things that I use this for is for my speakerphone. So if I want to put someone on speakerphone in my office or in my car, because it turns out that this size fits perfectly in your cup holder. So you can drop this into your car. You have great sound. Maybe you're like me, you've got an older car. I don't have the top rated sound system in there. And it's certainly not Bluetooth, but I
No.
can do Bluetooth to this one. It sounds great, but it also works as a speakerphone. So I can use it in the car. But at my desk, I love it because the people sound great coming through it, not like the tinny sound of my cell phone speaker. So now I'm using so I use this. It's got the microphone. So the Bose SoundLink is just an amazing piece of equipment. And, so for travel,
Wow.
again, it's perfect. Doesn't take up a lot of space. They are heavy because that's the way that it helps create that bass sound. But it is a fabulous sounding speaker, easy to use. I use it with the iPad, with my computer, and with my cell phone. And so I can connect anytime. It's easy to connect. Sounds great.
Can you tell me
Get a
about
Bose
the
speaker.
batteries? The batteries.
Yeah, it's just built in. It's just rechargeable. Just a USB charge, and it
Oh,
lasts a long time. And then you
okay.
turn it
So
on.
another good
You turn
reason
it
to
on.
have the
Battery
Halo.
100%.
You hear
Oh,
Connecting
that?
yes.
to Scott's Galaxy S9 and VSCOTTSMITH MBA.
Yeah. See, it's now connected to both my phone and my computer.
Oh my
So
goodness. That's another
there you go.
one. I bet there's uses for that. Having it
Hmm.
somewhere else. You're trying to do something, you're trying to talk to someone.
Oh
I
yeah.
could see that being so helpful.
Yeah, because you can use it as a speaker and a microphone. So maybe you're doing some Zoom
Wow.
meetings, and you're thinking, I need something to sound a little bit better. I need these
Yeah,
speakers
sometimes
coming
you're
out of here.
sitting here and sometimes you're
Yeah,
back over there and all of a sudden you lose the sound.
yeah, yeah. So just to get the Bose speaker, they sound great. And so
Cup holder size.
let's drop into something else. Where do we have?
You know what?
Uh,
I'll just tell you, you don't have to
mm,
do this one next. But as you were holding it and making it move around, I thought, wow, it kind of looks like one of those sci fi things. You look and you laugh. We laughed last night because part of the display on that show, you're like, that's a child's play equipment that they're trying to
that
make it
was
look like it's
hilarious.
an alien thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
did they do that on purpose? I mean, it's
All right.
obvious.
So I'll just mention this Doctor Who. It is in the carousel. We'll get to
It
Doctor Who,
is.
but you can
Okay, okay.
scroll through the carousel and you can see Doctor Who in
Yes,
there.
Doctor
And
Who.
somewhere. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
What?
I have pepper spray with a little
Oh,
pocket
so
clip.
do I. I've got it here.
And when you go out, it's because Super Bowl Sunday 2 years ago, right? Just about 2 years ago.
Oh, hold on. Oh, I had it in the wrong place. It was under my keys.
Oh
So
yeah.
usually, yeah. So it was Super Bowl in 2020. That was before there were any
It
shutdowns.
was. Yeah.
And I went for a walk and we had friends over. And I think I called you before I got back to the house.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Wished I'd had this.
Yeah.
Do you
It
want
was.
me to say it? I was a dog came out of a backyard and took a piece out of me. And
Mhm.
so I wished I'd had this. And now, especially, I was walking alone, broad daylight, Super Bowl had started, no dog with me, but out walking the dog, which is 4 times a day.
Mhm.
I have this with me because I'm not an off leash person, but there are plenty of people who think, well, my dog's just way over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or they don't see me coming or something. And I just need something because there's the difference between humans and dogs. And I just need something. I need to be able to do something.
Yep. So the pepper spray, so this is the Palm pepper spray, and that's the one we've got. There's a little safety on the top, so you lift that up, and then you put your finger or your thumb underneath it. So this is not going to accidentally go off in your pocket or in your purse or in your backpack. You actually have to lift up the little safety catch, and then get your finger in there. And
I've
the way I
never
use it,
accidentally sprayed it. And I've been fiddling with it and everything. And there have been times where there were loose dogs. And so I had the top lifted so that I could do something to slow down whatever might happen. But it's never gone off accidentally.
So, it's it comes in a lot of different colors. So you have white, I've got white. But there's some, there's some different colors. So if
you might want a really bright color. Maybe your preference is, do you see this? You do not want to come over here. That might really do it for you. And maybe, you know what? I wonder if they're ever made kind of glow in the dark so that if you do have it in a bag or something, you could find it more easily. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But neon colors helps.
Yeah. So this is another one of those travel things that I recommend that people take advantage of, that they use, because they're inexpensive, it's easy to use, and why not? Just have it available.
So just for women, right? Not for men, because men don't need that.
I carry mine every day. So men, women. Anyone that's responsible. So
that dog doesn't care how big you are. In fact, that dog might think if you're big, you might be menacing, and we don't want to go through that.
So I have mine, and mine has a little belt clip, and so I just keep it. So I take it out, and it would be available if I need it. Another thing, and I've got it highlighted in the carousel, is a multi-tool. Gerber makes a really nice multi-tool. I'm going to put the picture up here just so people can see that. This is the Gerber Curve, and it's got the blade. It's got a couple of screwdrivers, little tiny pry bar kind of a thing, which would be a very tiny screwdriver. And, it's amazing how often I use this. Now you can see that one's in blue, and let me just show you mine here. Take a look at this. Mine's not blue anymore.
It used to be. Oh, that's got a bit of blue left.
It used to be blue, but it's on my keys, and so it has been. It's bearing the test of time here, I think.
Yes, long before we were empty nesters. I can't imagine the number of times I have said, "Honey, do you have your knife? Honey, Can you did you bring
little
your
screwdriver,
knife?
Little Phillips head screwdriver, little pry bar kind of a thing, little knife, and made by Gerber. And here's another thing that it does. It's actually got a little bottle opener. And have I used the bottle opener before? Yes, I have used the bottle opener.
Yes.
And
you buy it, you put it in the car, you take off, and you're like, oh, this isn't a screw kind.
Yeah, I've been able to be the hero many times because I have a little tiny bottle opener, and you can see it's just perfect to hang on the key ring. It doesn't take up room in your pocket. But when those Amazon boxes come, Amazon boxes, whoosh, I can open up those boxes right there. And so,
yay! Yes, you are the Christmas hero too.
So the little Gerber tool, I'm sure people are doing their Christmas shopping now, and you're thinking, what kind of stocking stuffers might I give? The father gives the family pepper spray. Maybe you want to give your husband or wife or daughter or son or son-in-law or daughter-in-law a little tiny Gerber Curve multi-tool. That's what I think.
There you go.
All
You know,
right.
I had a knife in my purse, and I'm
Mhm.
not sure where it went now. So,
Maybe I
there you
should
go. I'll
get a
hang the
stocking stuffer for
stockings.
you.
There you go. I'll hang the
Hey, you know,
stockings.
we use the iPad Pro to run the show here on
Yeah.
Amazon, and so I use that. I also have, I've got in the carousel. We've got the the Apple Pencil, which I recommend. There's some fake pencils out there. Don't do it. Just get a real Apple Pencil with your iPad Pro. The iPad Pro I like because it is a near laptop replacement. I put the Microsoft
Wow.
Office suite on there, the 365, Office 365. It works really good. I can use the external keyboard. I've got an external, the Logitech keyboard that's also in the carousel. I've been using that for years. The nice thing about the keyboard, one of the things that I particularly like about it is that it's got a little analog switch. I'll show you what it looks like. Right there, right there, right. Hold on, there we go. Yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3. So I can hook it up to my iPad. I can hook it up to my phone, and I can hook it up to my laptop. So I have a Bluetooth keyboard that can work for multiple devices, and it's easy enough to switch. And that little green tray right there, the iPad fits in there, and it'll fit horizontal or vertical. I tend to use it in the vertical mode, and then right next to it, I put my cell phone also in the vertical mode. So I can answer emails or texts on my phone. I can make documents or do email on the laptop or on the iPad. And I can even use it on my laptop, which is just amazing. One keyboard, and I can use it for 3 different devices. In fact, I haven't switched when I'm traveling. I switch back and forth between the iPhone and the iPad because you're getting messages in, and I just switch 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, because 1 is the iPad, 2 is the phone, and 3 is my computer. So just some of those things that you've got to have when you're traveling.
You know what happened? We were talking about things going dark. We're not losing power,
Mhm.
but it has both the sun is setting early and
Yes.
that wind that was whistling past the window, I mean, I could really hear
Mhm.
it earlier, has brought in all these clouds. And suddenly I'm in this dark room. I'm actually going to go turn on the lights while you
Yeah,
talk about
because you
something
can
that
see
you really
my
like.
I'm going to talk about I'm
What?
going to talk about if you're doing any kind of broadcasting, and it can be Zoom. We did Zoom earlier on. You can get Zoom. It's in the carousel, but put your microphone on a boom. Now this frees desk space. The microphones sound so much better, and let's do a little demonstration. I'm going to switch from this Shure SM7B microphone, which is also in the carousel. And I'm going to switch that microphone to the one that is built in to the webcam. A lot of webcams have microphones, and Christine will be able to tell you, does it sound different? Because now I'm using the webcam, and maybe it sounds hollow, maybe it sounds echoey. It definitely doesn't have the same broadcast quality. Is that true? Oh, she's back. She's plugged in. So can you hear the
Just,
difference?
oh,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm
you
using
do not sound okay.
I'm using
Yeah.
the webcam. So let me switch back to the Shure
Yeah, you sound
SM7.
like somebody just called you and you're just like, "Well, I'm over here now." Go ahead and
Yeah,
say what you don't sound ready to
there you go.
be listened to. Yeah.
So I'm using
Oh, I can pull
so
this
now
away
I'm
again.
using the Shure SM7B, which is in the carousel. You
Yeah.
can take a look at that. Sounds a world of difference, but I do use the boom arm. Christine's got the boom arm. It's highlighted there in the carousel. When you're done, get it off your desk. Let's put it out of the way. And there are a number of different microphones that you can use. One of my favorite microphones is the MXL 990, and this happens to be in the Patriot Edition, they call it.
Patriotic.
Now it is
Yes.
election day all across the country, so
Yes.
I just hope everyone got a chance to get out and vote. It is getting late, so there you go. But the
My
SM7 or the MXL 990, it is an XLR microphone. This is a condenser mic. It's got a large diaphragm. This microphone sounds great. And condenser microphones are very sensitive. So I recommend that you mount it in a shock mount like this one, and then this mounts onto your boom arm. And it isolates the sound so you don't get any noise from your desk. But this microphone and the shock mount, they are a wonderful combination. Wonderful combination. There we go. And the 990 comes in a lot of different ways. A lot of configurations. The one that we have highlighted in the carousel. And let me put that picture up because it's so cool. So they call this the Blaze, right? So it actually has LED bulbs built into it. So when you plug it in and get it going, it actually lights up from the inside. Now the Blaze has red lights. You can get it in blue lights. There's some different colors, but it just adds a little bit of fun when you're doing broadcasting. The microphone sounds amazing. We use these actually on stage for vocals, so they're really good. I used it for years before switching over to the SM7B, and I'll tell you about the reasons for that when I get there. But that MXL 990 is a remarkable microphone, and it's reasonably priced. So one of those things that people can take a look at for a certain. But let's switch over to Christine's microphone. So she is using the Samson microphone.
Yes. Am I going to play with settings on this particular moment?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and do that? And I'll put this one up on the screen as well, so people can see what this looks like. And you actually like the name of this one.
The Q to you. It's like
Q to you.
And Q. It's like, hey, welcome to the Empty Nest Show here on Amazon Live with Scott and Christine. Yeah, Q to you.
So it's both USB and XLR. So Christine is using it as an XLR or an USB microphone. So on the back, it's just the USB cable, plugs directly into the computer. No interface needed. If I use that microphone, I would use the XLR cable like this and run it into something like the Focusrite Solo, which is also in the carousel. You can take a look at that. But you want to do a little demonstration with the settings and switch?
Absolutely. So here's my demonstration. This is me talking into a microphone that works well for me. It's got a little cover, maybe takes out some of the mouth noise, and maybe like a moment ago, I kind of whistled on one of my consonants. And also it takes this alto voice of mine and just, makes it maybe something that's a little more pleasant, a little less thin sounding, or maybe it elevates a lower voice. Now, just talking on my computer, I mean, I can still hear myself in the microphone, but has it made a difference for you now?
Oh, wow. It's it's like you picked up one of those old candlestick telephones and in the 1930s and are trying to call somebody. You sound
I know
horrible.
what you mean. Oh, those, yeah, like when you say candlestick one, you didn't say, so it's an imitation of the, really dark, or it just sounds like what I said earlier, kind of like, oh, just tell me this and we'll get this part done really quick. Well, I'm going to be talking to you for the next 45 minutes. It's like, and I'm checking out. So the next thing I'm going to do, the camera itself does have a microphone built into it. I am
more than an arm's length away. How is that sounding generally?
Yeah, once again, it sounds better using the camera microphone. It sounds much better.
Yes.
Um,
And that's been consistent, no matter, unless I'm across the room, that picks it up better than just my laptop. And I don't even know what year this was, but it might be a used one when I got it. So I'm moving now from all of that to the Samson Q2U.
Samson Q2U microphone that's on this mount, that's on this arm. What are those arms called? The
it's a
boom
little boom arm,
boom arm
Mhm.
that when I'm done, I can just put this away and it will even not be played with by the cat. So I'm back to that microphone. But yes, the jump between this and somebody talking, what's difficult is in a group setting to adjust your hearing from a person who's right on mic that works with their voice to someone else who's talking over, who sounds like they're just talking over here and not quite sure. And this is, I don't know how it sounds on this. I could go back and replay to hear that, how that sounded. So you feel like the one person's really dedicated to what they're saying and the other person can be just as dedicated, but it sounds like they just weren't ready to be part of that group. And you have to work to give them credibility for everything that they're saying. So I highly recommend a microphone, especially when it's going to be recorded and someone's going to listen to it and replay. You'll be more pleased if you're the one listening to it and replay. You won't keep thinking, oh, I wished I'd had a microphone, a good microphone. Hey, did you go away?
There we go.
Oh,
Yep, I was
there. Oh,
coughing.
you just.
So
Oh, good, good. Okay. So
I didn't
yeah, and
want to share that.
I still had my settings screen up and I went, uh-oh,
Mm.
he
Uh-oh.
left.
Yeah.
So yeah, this
So
lighting.
microphones
Oh.
and cameras traveling. Now, one of the things, and I've got it highlighted in the carousel also, is a digital single lens reflex, a DSLR camera.
Hmm.
And this is similar to kind of maybe the film cameras that you grew up with, where you'd open up the back and load the film in there with 24 or 36 exposures. Now we just open it up and put an SD card in there and can take hundreds or thousands of photos. And it does have the the flash attachment, so you can turn on a flash built into it. And so let's just so there are a lot of different things that you can do with a camera like this. So you can take really good pictures. Not only that, you can change the lenses out. So this is a slight zoom lens here. So you can go from wide angle to telephoto. One of the things that a camera like this does is also takes video. And so you can, again, I'm going to put this back on my little handle. So we've been using this handle. We have one of these in the carousel. You can take a look at. And so with the handle, you can see a little bit better of what we've got. But the Nikon cameras are very popular. And so I'm just going to put this up on the screen so you can see that. There we go. Okay. So the Nikon camera takes great pictures, takes really good movies, and has a built-in microphone. Now, we were just talking about microphones, and would I want to use the built-in microphone for taking a video? The answer is actually I would not. I would not want to do that. And so what we have here is a little rat's nest of wire.
What in the world?
But this is
there's something good there.
Something very good here. So this is a little lavalier microphone.
I've worn that.
Your shirt. Yep, you've worn this. It clips onto your shirt, onto your lapel. and it sounds really good. Then it just plugs in, and you plug this into the phone into your camera.
There
So
you
just
go.
plug in right here. So I would just plug that in on the side here. And now this is going to work for picking up my the camera. And the particular one that we have, and I've got this highlighted now in the carousel, this VidPro 20-foot cable. And so these are very inexpensive. You can get wireless ones, but they're very expensive and a little more fragile. This is pretty durable. Plugs into the phone, and when you plug it into your phone, you have a little battery. So you got to turn the power on from red to green, and now this is going to work for the camera. But I mentioned the phone. So let's say you're going to do some video with your phone. You want to film a little message, a little birthday message, or maybe you're actually even doing a video conference on your phone. You can
Yes.
plug this into your phone and then and use this. You are going to sound worlds better using the little
Wow.
lavalier microphone. And so that's a huge help. Very inexpensive. You can get these right here on Amazon, have it sent to yourself. Maybe you do conferences with some family members or a work associate, and their sound
Yes.
is terrible. I actually sent one of these to a friend of mine in Tennessee because he was doing some video work using the microphone in his camera. I said, David, I'm going to send you a microphone. And his video quality went way up because of the sound was so much better.
His credibility goes up
Mhm.
because he sounds like he's equipped and ready, and people aren't, having to get over that. What was that truck that just went by?
Mhm.
Because it's picking up all the sound. It's just car sound. Cars are actually a pretty popular place to get a hold of someone because you've pulled over and you've said, okay, I have time right now, but then I have to be somewhere else in person. So, surprise them, little shock and awe of like,
Yeah.
you sound great. What kind of car did you buy? Because you sound great in your car. I sound lousy in my car. And
Yep.
it's like, it's right here. Oh, that's what that is.
So your microphone is both a USB and XLR. My microphone is XLR only. And so the way that I can plug this microphone to get it work with my computer, I have to use an interface. And the one that I've been
Oh,
using for years, the one that I like the best is Focusrite makes what they call the Scarlett line and the Solo.
mhm,
So Focusrite is the company, and Solo is this model because it
mhm.
basically they say it's got one XLR input and then one quarter-inch input, so you can put
Mm.
a different microphone or a different you can do an instrument. So I actually plug the guitar or bass in here, and I can uh, get that into my computer as well.
There
But
you
you need a
go.
little interface like this. So the Scarlett is a great little tool to be able to use to connect your XLR microphone. And then I do use what they call a cloud lifter. It's highlighted in the carousel. You can read all about it without going into the details. It boosts the signal from the microphone. It's very clean. It does make broadcast quality sound. So, and that's where we get to this Shure SM7B. You'll see these microphones a lot in professional studios. Do I have a professional studio? I guess this is a professional studio.
Do you get paid?
I do get paid.
Okay, and do you get paid
Yeah.
when you're using that studio?
I
Then
get
it's
paid when I'm
professional.
using this studio. So, yeah, I
Yay.
do. Yep. So, you'll find these. This microphone has been around for a long time. It's a little funky because it's got this wire that comes from the microphone up to where it connects. Uh, but it sounds great. It's one of those things that if you're going to be doing a lot of video or audio work, especially like video conferencing, if you're going to do a podcast, going to do a video podcast like Christine does, then you want a good microphone. The Samson is an excellent choice. And actually, Christine's voice sounds better in that microphone than it does with the Shure when we did some testing.
We have different ways of speaking. Part of mine was I ended up with a polyp in my throat. So I actually had to go to a speech therapist to learn to use my vocal folds differently so that I wouldn't have the difficulties that I had. There was a point at which I sneezed and I couldn't get any voice out at all. And then there was the little surgery thing and all that kind of stuff. So I use my voice differently, and I put sounds together differently as I was trained through that whole time, which was easy because I had to be silent 1 week. I had to not voice, not make a sound, not even whisper, for a whole week before surgery and a whole week after. So this one just works for me, and that one just works for you. Everybody, some of your friends talk about your radio voice, and I guess the people have said to me that I should maybe record audio books, except it might put someone into, they wouldn't want to be listening to it while they're driving.
Well, as a school teacher, you have developed a great voice with very good enunciations, very clear. People understand you, and just having a good microphone is able to, it enhances what you already have.
That is a nice way to put it. I'm going off topic for a second. So I can see the night sky through your blinds behind you. That's very different than it was 1 hour ago because it was also clouds. And I feel like I'm just sitting here in the dark. So I'm glad for Amazon because we're going to be able to shop and not be standing in lines or trying to find something and wondering how it works and what, having to look here to see reviews, at a store. We'll be able to get something, have it delivered, put it here to bring. I mean, that light up there is not doing it. Everything has happened in 1 week. Change of time in the US, because it is different in Europe. They changed earlier. Then our weather changed as well with the clouds. I mean, we had nothing but clear skies for several weeks, and we knew this moment was going to come. And these lights have been adequate until now. So I need something glowy up there that you and I will say looks good, because my office is actually part of the great room, but
absolutely
it still looks
part of the empty nest
in here, but I don't have to keep setting it up, taking it down, hiding it. So we're going to find something that's
some ambient light.
Yeah, something that, hides away or just looks good or looks, I don't know what we're going to find, but we've got all of Amazon to shop.
We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun doing that. We, many years ago, we took a cruise, and I remember saying, I'm a coffee addict, and but also a coffee snob, and I didn't want to be stuck on a cruise ship for a week with bad coffee. So what did I do? I packed my coffee maker. So we are talking about traveling. We went from tech to the ultimate low tech. There's actually the filters in here that you can put in. Seattle's Best Coffee, great stuff. But I'm highlighting this little pour over filter. I have been using one of these for years, but it's great for travel. And that way I can just make, you don't drink coffee, I drink coffee. And I can just make 1 cup, and that's all I need. And I have actually used our little camp stove, boiled water on the side of the road, and made coffee for the trip.
Yeah, I had it sitting on one of those little cement things that keeps you from going too close to something. And he had it, I come around the side of the car. What is that? He really, I mean, we cannot I don't think we can be in a nest together, an empty nest or otherwise, if he is cut off from good coffee.
Hmm. I don't
I
disagree.
shudder to think about it.
Now, I do love the little red filter, and I've been using that little pour over. I've been using that for years, but our son got me the Chemex last year,
Yep.
and I thought, okay, well, it's the same thing. You know, you just put the filter in there, and to make the coffee in the red filter, I use in this red one, put the filter in, put in 2 scoops of that Seattle's Best coffee. And I did the same thing here, and it was so strong. It turns out I only needed 1 scoop of coffee when I used the Chemex. And so I cut by buying this machine, this little Chemex. It's not a machine, it's just
It
it's a glass. You
isn't
put the
a
filter into it.
system.
It's
It's
a
a
whatever.
science invention.
It looks like it does look like it came right
It's
out
a
of the science
beaker.
lab, right out of the high school lab. But I
Yeah, it's got a little
literally,
wood thing and little.
by
I don't know.
buying by using this, literally it cut my coffee budget in half. And I'll tell people, with inflation and all the prices going up, food is one of the things that's going up, and coffee. So invest in a Chemex, cut your coffee budget in half, and you won't suffer.
Yeah, and this is coming from. I mean, he really. There must be some contest somewhere. It's like, who is truly that persnickety about, I mean, you have your favorite blend of coffee or whatever, but you drink it black and it's got to be good. Is
Yeah.
that right? No sugar, no cream, black.
Yep, straight, no chaser. That's it. That's the way it
There you
goes.
go.
All right. Here's another thing. We use this regularly.
Yep.
Little meat thermometer. This is a digital meat thermometer. It's got a magnet in the back, sticks on the stove, sticks on your barbecue, and you can take it anywhere. It actually tells you the outside temperature, because as soon as you open it up, it starts telling you. It tells you in Fahrenheit or Celsius, and then you put it in the meat, and it's got information on here that tells you, is it rare, medium, well done? How about your fish? Is it the right temperature for cooking fish, chicken, pork? Of course, you don't want to make chicken sushi, so you want it cooked.
My favorite part is, yes, it sticks to metal, but it doesn't stick you when you're fishing around in a drawer, because it sticks to metal. We just leave it. The stove has an up part, where the knobs are. And so it just stays right there. We always know where to find it. It's not hiding in the back of a drawer, but you pull it out, that turns it on. When you put it back in, that turns it off. So we've never replaced the battery that I remember.
And it came with 2 batteries, which was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right. And of course you get instant temperature. So other things are like that, but you've got like little instructions like, well, what should it be for? Oh, great. We're 10 degrees over, take it out before it gets too cooked, kind of a thing, which a lot of people think, oh, as soon as it hits the right temperature. But if you have a food handler's license, it actually needs to be at the correct temperature for a number of minutes in order for it to be truly safe, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's my lecture for now, is that if it's a little bit over, you haven't overcooked it. It just means that it was at the correct temperature long enough that it actually warmed up a bit more. But I just like it because you have so much fun with it. I mean, it's like you get that out and you flick it out like, it's that knife, right? And you're like, hey, when I stick this
there
in,
we go.
hey, I stick it in there.
It is
Whoa,
just like a
it's
little
even
jackknife.
better over here. Let's, and he's just like, little punctures everywhere. It's fun.
Yep.
We use it even with our air fryer because then we're sure.
Yeah, we can check the brats, make sure they're cooked all the way through, because raw brats is not very tasty.
No pork sushi.
No pork sushi. we have used we can get those little seasoned tri-tips you can see in the store.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a little tiny tri-tip, fits perfectly into the Ninja air fryer, and I
Yep.
cook it, and then I can test it. I can make sure that it's cooked the way we like it, right? So you can cook
Right.
it well, medium, rare, your
You can't
choice,
really
but
tell
now you
from the
know.
outside because if we left both layers in
Mhm.
there, it's up closer to, it's just like you can't just look at the
Yep.
outside and hope. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, here's another thing. We had David Osk on our show a while
Yeah.
back, and when we're traveling, you see thermostats all over the place.
Mhm.
Sometimes they have uh, covers on them. Sometimes they have a little posted notes that says "Don't touch," and sometimes you see there used to be a cover, but someone broke it off because they lost the key. StatGuard Plus replaced the key with a combination lock. Available right here on Amazon. If
Yeah.
you have one of those fancy thermostats for your house, the Nest system, you control it with your phone. You don't want people touching it. Uh, get one of these for home use right there. Just a little thermostat cover.
Then
Once
there's
again,
no question. The
mhm,
babysitter didn't change it. The puppy that you got that's actually much bigger than you thought isn't going up and hitting it with his paw. The kids didn't do it. They couldn't do it because you didn't tell them the code. You know the code. You can remember 4 numbers,
mhm.
but you're always losing your keys. Or someone else is losing them
Yes,
for you because they borrowed them.
they
It's
borrowed your
just,
keys.
oh,
Hey, we also had Travis Perry on our program a while back,
yes.
and he's the inventor of Chord Buddy. Chord Buddy is highlighted in the carousel. What is Chord Buddy? It is a guitar learning system. I just happen to have one right here.
Yes, he does. And while he's away from the microphone, I can quickly say, don't tell my son in law, but I really want to get him this because he has huge fingers, huge hands. He's such a football guy. And he loves music. He loves singing along with music. Our daughter, his wife, knows how to play guitar. I don't know that he does. He certainly hasn't been doing it recently. So here is a system for him, and he loves
Mhm.
country music. Travis Perry is all about country music.
There you
He
go.
is country music.
So when you're playing guitar, it's most people stop learning within the first few months because it's hard, and it
Mhm.
just takes time to learn. And you're trying to figure out where to put your finger on the strings, right? So you're trying to learn all of that stuff and learn how to strum, right? You're trying to.
Mhm. You want to sound like that before the end of the month. It's not going to
And
happen
so the Chord Buddy learning
unless
system, it's highlighted in the carousel. You can take a look at it, but I'm going to put it up here by the camera so you can see this little Chord Buddy learning system is injection molded. Travis actually has a special mix of material that gets molded in there, so they're durable, flexible. They won't crack, and then you just put on your guitar.
Mhm.
And we actually have the combo highlighted there, so you can get just the Chord Buddy, but you can get it with the guitar as well. And then basically, you're just going to use one finger on the button. Oops. Which is really cool. So now you're just using one finger while you're learning the strumming patterns. But then after you've learned the strumming patterns and you've got your fingers a little bit stronger, you actually start to remove the little tabs right there. And that's how you transition from pushing the button to putting your fingers on the strings. And so you actually have a learning system. So Chord Buddy is one of those great things, as we're talking about, as a gift. And so, Christine, you're talking about getting this for our son-in-law.
Well, it comes with a tuner. So you put that on there, and the tuner just gives you the green light, right? The green light
Yeah,
when you've got it
absolutely. Yep.
right.
Yep.
So that's no problem for his perfectionist wife, our daughter,
Mhm.
who's going, oh man, tune that up. He's got it tuned. And whichever one he pushes, it's always going to make a correct chord. So even if he pushes a wrong button, it still is a good sounding chord. For sensitive fingers, for neuropathy fingers, for nerve
Mhm.
damage, for fingers that have been injured, there's been some alteration, or fingers that are just shaped differently, the strength, the arthritis, whatever is stopping you from making that good chord, even if it's just you just don't want it to hurt, you don't have those calluses yet, or you've got long fingernails that you just had done,
Mhm.
and now you're like, oh my goodness,
Now what are you
I'm
going to do? Hey,
hitting
you've got
on the string, it sounds bad, oh, wait a minute, we have a visitor.
you got Cheeto.
Hello,
So
Cheeto's
for
saying
all of
you're
those
almost done.
reasons, yeah. Hey, speaking of which, it is going to be Veterans Day on Friday,
Yes,
and
yes.
actually, this is I can zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in a little bit more, maybe, on that. What we have here is, there we go. Wow, it was delayed, but there it is.
The cat is just watching the screen. I think he's going to reach. It is a touch screen. Something could happen. If you lose me, I'll run into your office because we are in the same nest. We just have
Mhm.
different corners of the nest.
Yep. Veterans Day, November 11th, this Friday. And
Yeah.
thank you for everyone that has served. I was in the U.S. Air Force, and I worked for the Electronic Security Command.
Yes, he
And this
did.
was, so I did radio intercept. I studied Korean at the Presidio of Monterey at the Defense Language Institute, then went
Yay!
over to Korea and spied on North Korea. And I was part of the 6903rd Electronic Security Group under the Electronic Security Command. So that's the one that I have highlighted there. But you can
I
get
always say
mugs.
you helped to make sure there wasn't going to be a war, and you obviously did your job.
We did our part. You know, you
Mhm.
can get mugs, and there's different, of course, the different branches of the service. Air Force was mine, and so that's what I've got highlighted there. But there
Oh,
are a
there's
lot of
lots of
different.
cool designs.
Oh yeah, and so
Wow.
depending on which branch, well, that's jumping. Um, Anyway, there is a ton of different mugs, military mugs. These are just things that I would recommend that, if you have a veteran in your household or even a neighbor, someone that you respect and want to
Mhm.
thank them for their service, maybe you want to just buy a baseball hat for them. Maybe you're not sure which branch of the service they were in,
Oh,
but
very
a
good.
veteran hat like this, do it. Go ahead. And it's let's just
Mhm.
honor all of our veterans for what they and their families, all of our families as well, have
Yeah,
sacrificed to be a part of that. So
yeah.
we just wanted to say thank you to our veterans for Veterans Day coming up on Friday. And your
Both
father was also
both
a
of our
veteran.
dads both
Hmm.
of our
Oh, yes.
dads they were in different decades, but
Hmm.
they both were stationed in Germany. and they both were in the Army. I did not mention this to you earlier, but I've thought about it for a number of days. Today is the 20th anniversary
Mm,
of my dad passing away. And he is buried at the Willamette National Cemetery here in Oregon. And I always
mhm,
say hi to him as I'm driving by because
yeah,
it is fairly near
mhm,
to my mom. And so I've just been posting out some sort of greeting or some sort of suggestion for veterans. Like yesterday, it was about finding your old buddies. And there is a
mm, mhm,
site. They have over 2 million people looking for old buddies. And you know what? My mom could go on that site and look up names that she remembered because
mhm,
she went over and was with him in Germany. So was your mom over in
mhm,
Germany. You were a
yep,
tiny little baby over in Germany.
yes,
So even loved ones, family members can
mhm,
go and look up some buddies, that, find a veteran. I wish I could remember the exact thing for it right now. I almost want to go look it up, but I just looked up veterans and I started going through. Believe it was on page 4 on my algorithm that people can look up some people and go, "Hey, oh my goodness, they only live 100 miles away." And people have gotten back together and tried to repose their pictures when the three of them were, standing next to a Jeep or something. So there's a
mhm,
lot of good things to honoring veterans who, I mean, we always say served, but they were dedicated. They got a lot of schooling, a lot of training. They went where they were told, they did what they were told. So grateful for everyone who learned how to come together and, make some right things happen. So, yay.
absolutely. Yeah, so both of our, fathers were in the Army. They both went to basic training at Fort Ord,
Fort
which
Ord.
was
Yep.
very close to where I was going to school at the Presidio of Monterey, so it's all that same area. In fact, out of my dorm window, I could see, I could see Fort Ord. So, it was
Yeah,
kind
you
of
and
fun.
I drove through there one time.
Mhm.
It was
Yep.
just
Oh, yeah.
curious
Yep.
to go back in time. Well, for us, before we could remember and
Mhm.
imagine. Yeah.
Yep. So there's another thing that we like about Amazon, and that is
Yeah.
watching programs. And in fact, now they've
Oh,
added
yes.
Thursday night football, and this week
Right?
it is the Falcons and the Carolina Panthers, so Atlanta versus Carolina. Uh,
Woohoo.
and Al Michaels, who has been a broadcaster for many years. In fact, he has been most recently been doing Sunday night football with Chris Collinsworth. He has signed a contract, and this year he is now doing the Thursday night football games live on Amazon. So if you're a Prime member, you can watch the Thursday night football game right on your device. So you can watch it
And hear that
on your
familiar
TV.
voice.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, speaking of all the microphones we've been talking about, someone
Hmm.
who's just got that voice that just makes you go, "Yep, it's football."
Oh yeah. Yeah, so Thursday Night Football on Amazon right here, Amazon Prime. You can watch it on your TV, on your smart TV, on your computer, on your phone. There's many
Mhm.
ways to do it, but we also like Doctor Who, and Doctor Who is on Amazon, and
Mhm.
we just got I think it's season 13. This is now the one that we're watching with
I don't
the newer versions, right? This is
Right.
the resurrection. This is a series that has been going on for nearly as long as I have been going on. So it's coming up on I think it's a 60 years, getting close to that, if not already there.
Wow.
So there you
Wow.
go.
Yep.
The
We
series has been
have
around.
we have a memory of being upstairs in probably about 100-year-old building in
Mhm.
downtown Corvallis, and being in a room, getting to see something that whatever the common man
It was a
didn't get to
premiere, right?
see.
Yeah.
It was a
Mhm.
premiere, and they brought in a whole bunch of short parts that it looked like all the Doctor Who's from all the different iterations of Doctor Who were all coming to the rescue, and we were cheering. And the iconic one, is there any question who was the iconic Doctor Who?
Mm.
Tom Baker.
Colin, yeah, Tom Baker, right? I
Yeah,
knew it was Baker.
For me, it's Tom Baker, and he actually comes in the flesh, not just up on these screens of all
Mhm.
these doctors coming in to the rescue, but he actually comes in, and I'm starting to cheer, and I think everyone else went, "Who's that?" Oh, I knew who it was. Whee! Okay, a Doctor Who moment. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back to reality.
You know, it it's been, I mean, there's a lot of memories that we have around Doctor Who because, we helped volunteer, at fundraising
Yes.
for
The
public
public
broadcasting.
broadcasting in Portland,
Mhm.
Oregon
Yep.
Public Broadcasting, we gave them their little pieces of paper and their pencils, made sure their pencils were sharp, and made sure they
Back when
got
that's the way it was done,
cookies and
yeah.
little punch, all that. We showed up
Drinking
at a
coffee.
few other ones. That's
Yeah.
right, that was our big, and it was fun because really people who are even more crazy about sci-fi, they
Oh my.
came
Yeah.
in, and there was, like, the group that was the
The
Whovian
Friends of the
Alliance,
Doctor and the
Friends of the
Whovian
Dark, the
Alliance.
Whovian
2
Alliance,
different groups.
and they're dressed up as characters. I don't know if there were any,
Oh, and they
what's
had their little, phone booth, TARDISes, and they had all kinds of
Yes.
characters. I mean, they decorated.
Yeah.
It was a fun group of people, and, we did that for a number of years.
Thank you, Amazon. We get to watch it. It's of course
Mhm,
recorded as a BBC show, but
mhm.
we get to watch it, and my husband, instantly he just goes in, and I'm going, this was like a gift to us, that
Mhm. Yeah.
he purchased the next season so we wouldn't have to wait for a couple of years. So, actually I have TARDIS earrings. So if you don't know
Yes, you
what
do.
Doctor Who is, you've just been lost for the last few minutes. But you can tell it is, what do they
Yeah.
call that? Cult classic? Oh, it's
Mhm.
way beyond
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Indeed. Hey, we're gonna wind up with, 3 books, and, one
Oh,
of them
okay.
is, is the first book that you published right here on Amazon, and that is The Active Aging Volume 1: Pre-Planning for Your Emotional and Relational Future. You often say we are in the third of our lives.
Mhm. We're living into the third of our lives. So let's see. Right now I am 62, so half of that is 31, little math lesson. So add 31, and that puts me at 93.
Mhm.
So right now I can say I expect to live to 93. So how am I doing emotional? How am I navigating, both hands on the
Mhm.
helm, navigating my aging, my choices into my future? I'm not just letting the ship steer itself. I'm not letting go because I'm almost 65. How am I doing this emotionally and relationally? Someone corrected me on one of my live streams and said, I'm thinking you got more than a third left. And I said, well, in my mathematical world,
Mhm.
for example, when I turned 70, half of that is 35. So add that to 70, and that third puts me at 105. That
Fair
is
enough.
not that is not out of reach because
No.
of the
No.
way that
Mhm.
medical and health awareness and just our
Mhm.
lives, I just there's a lot of safety that's been added to our lives, so
We
that
look
is
at the
not
women in
out
your
of reach. So as I
yeah.
continue to age, I
Mhm.
aim, or I navigate my life as if I still have another third left. So if someone loves math, they probably hate what I just said, but you can have a mindset that
Yeah. You
says, hey,
There's plenty
I
of
could
living
have
to be
another
done.
half of life left. So yeah, you plan. Yeah, it's pre-planning. Okay. Oh, and you have moved to Caregiver Kit. I'm going to say this very quickly. This is a how-to, what to do, etc. Because as you age, you will experience the death of other people around you. Some of them are
Mhm.
older, some of them are younger. Because as you age, other people are entering even what we would call age-related difficulties, and so you feel like you're just getting pummeled with obituaries and memorials and grieving. What are you doing for yourself? What do you have that's literally there, physically there for yourself? You have a container where you can put some items that help you to move through your grieving in a healthy way, not get done with it and move on with life, but actually experience. You can be having anticipatory grief because you know someone is coming to the end of their life, but you can
Mhm.
also have anniversary grief. It's just, for
Mhm.
example, today has usually been very hard on me. And now I have something that I do, little things that I go to that really help me to go, I'm grateful that I have these memories, and even grateful that I can feel this sadness for, someone that I loved and someone that seemed to be snatched from me
Mhm.
earlier than I was ready. So I wrote a lot of things and I published it as a newsletter. And my husband said to me that I could put his personal experience in and create a booklet that can help more people because it could go farther on Amazon, which Amazon started out as a book sale platform,
Absolutely, and it
right?
is still the number one place for,
Mhm.
books, is the number one book reseller, so, retailer, so definitely the place to be, so, yeah, this has been this book is really helpful. I'm glad that you put, my story in there,
Yeah.
and, I
Thank
think,
you.
I mentioned that one of the things for my mother, who passed a number of years ago,
Mhm.
we enjoyed the movie The Sting. Robert
Yeah.
Redford and Paul Newman. And
Mhm.
just a fun story, great music, but a fun story, kind of a little whodunit type thing. And but anyway, the movie
Who's
The
gonna
Sting.
get it?
Yeah, who's gonna get it? And and so it was, one of those times, and I was just I, if you will, pulled this out of my kit, which was, I have it on Amazon, so I could just hit play, but essentially pulled it out of the kit so that I could just enjoy that movie that meant so much to my mother and I. It was
Mhm.
so much fun. Hey, I've got one more book, and this is the last one. This one has just come out, and this is Freeze in Action in the Face of a Business Crisis. This is one that I wrote jointly with Veronica Jeans and was edited by a friend of mine, Joy Montgomery, that I've known for a number of years. She's down in Silicon Valley.
Mm.
We're here in Oregon, and Veronica is in Houston. So there you go. You can do stuff remotely. We wrote this book, and it is available. It's all about how businesses can respond to crisis by being prepared. And of course, we've just gone through the pandemic. We're in a supply chain and inflation situation going on right now. But also, businesses lose their lease, or they lose a key employee or a key customer or a key supplier. These are all crises. And in the book, it gives you a process to go through and identify what those are and be available to take advantage of the opportunities that a crisis prevents. And so that book is now available on Amazon. So I encourage people, of course, buy the book. Be prepared. If you have a business, if you know of somebody that has a business, then take advantage. Use and buy the book. And Cheeto looks so comfortable there. Look at him. He's just so
He's
comfy.
really posing. He goes, and you guys need to be done because there's a cat that needs attention.
Well, hey, this has been a great show. Welcome back to everybody who was joining us on Monday. We are now running the Empty Nest show here on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday nights on Amazon in Amazon Live. So thank you to everybody. Thank you for the comments, for the clicks, for the shares, for the likes. And we will be doing this on Tuesdays because it just seemed like maybe Monday was too busy. And people should be watching Monday Night Football in preparation for Thursday Night Football right here live on Amazon. And as always, I'm going to sign off and let Christine have the last words.
You know, I knew he was going to do that. And the only thing I could think of were the items in the carousel. I know you're here. You're only here for the cat. I know that's what's happening right now. Okay. So in the carousel, we had a bunch of things that had to do with a really short trip. It was only 2 hours away, but it was far enough off the grid, the power grid, that rather than getting electricity back during the night, as they did, probably a 15-minute drive up the highway, they weren't going to get power back until 10 p.m. And so that was a big change for everyone already there, everyone who had relied on power, the cooks, how cold it was going to get in there with the power off and being up in the mountains and the cold, wet weather, etc. So my husband put in a bunch of stuff in the carousel to help you to weather the storms, because the storms are going to happen. And I'll just say, I'm really glad that he've included the Chord Buddy, because by candlelight, you can strum a guitar and show your friend next to you who's trying to keep warm in the lobby of a dark hotel something that they can do. We all needed a laugh at that moment because everything was so emotionally unplugged. And so there's just a lot of ways, bring some light into the room. When you do have the power back, or you have a Halo battery, you can use your microphones and you can still record. In fact, somebody in there said, we should make a podcast out of this, because they knew that I do that. And so does my husband. So I would just say, be prepared. Have some of those items that are lightweight or small or can be part of what you're doing to make things a little better until things normalize again. And then always have them ready, always have them charged up so that you can stay warm, or at least smile and shiver together. So yeah, the cat says I'm done, so I'm done.
You can support your favorite charities by using the Amazon Smile program. Go to smile.amazon.com. Choose the button here on the upper left to select your favorite charity. Scroll down, put in the name of the charity, like ALZ Authors, and search. Once you've found the group, you can read about them. So here we have ALZ Authors, and it's a community of authors sharing Alzheimer's and dementia stories. Once you've found the charity, go ahead and click the select button. And now your purchases will all go toward supporting your favorite charity using the Amazon Smile program.